All right, what's poppin'? It's your boy Big Rich, Queens, New York City, where we get busy. Some Tuesday afternoon business. How's everybody been? I know we haven't put up a story in a while, but I've been busy in the background handling business. But it's time to come back and handle some other business. We're gonna go with a mob spotlight today, and this is gonna be part one of what I believe will be a 3-part series about Carmine Galante. You know the routine. Wipe your feet on the rugs, throw some smoke in the atmosphere. I just lit up some hectane by the Grandiflora Genetics Company. Amazing. You know how I do. We gotta thank Luigi Mili for sponsoring today's video. Salute to you, sir, and I hope everything's well. Health is wealth. Let's get into it. Part 1, profile of Bonanno family powerhouse Carmine Galante, Godfather of heroin trafficking by Ed Scarpo. Salute to you, sir. You would have thought you were looking at just another innocuous, bespectacled, grandfatherly type if you had seen the 5'5" tall, 60-something-year-old Carmine Galante examining the artichokes and tomatoes at Balducci's in Greenwich Village, or enjoying espresso and cannoli at the Robertis Pasticceria on the Lower East Side, or dining at the Amici Ristorante at 1294 3rd Avenue. He reportedly also jogged along the East River path near the United Nations building and played handball at the YMCA. His daily routine also included being driven by a chauffeur every morning to L&T Cleaners at 245 Elizabeth Street, reportedly his base of operations. You would never think he was a man who could be involved in 80 gangland homicides, 100 if you include the Montreal allegations. Such was the visible part of the picture of Carmine Galante that emerged following his 1974 release from prison after he served 12 years of a 20-year sentence and was released for good behavior from the federal prison in Atlanta. In 1977, feds tried to send him back for violating parole by associating with known criminals including Anthony Di Palermo, Joseph Di Palermo, Vito B. Filippo, Alphonse Indelicado, Angelo Presenzano, and Michael Zaffarano. On October 11, Galante, age 67, surrendered to federal marshals and was held in the MCC Center. A March 1978 ruling by a 4-member panel of the U.S. Parole Commission seemed to seal his fate, declaring Galante would have to serve the rest of his prison sentence. Within a month of the ruling, however, in a bizarre and baffling development, the full Parole Commission reversed the panel's decision. The full 8-member Parole Commission provided no written explanation for its decision. Had Carmine been returned to prison, of course, he would have been behind bars until the 1980s, and his rivals would have never been able to kill him in 1979. Interesting, right? Carmine was mafia royalty from the moment he first opened his eyes in 1910. His parents immigrated to Manhattan's East Harlem Italian enclave from Sicily's Castellamare de Golfo, the ancient fishing village where many formidable men of honor were born and bred, including Joe Bonanno and many of his American-based Bonanno family members. Because of his numerous well-connected Castellamarasi relatives, Galante was a natural for his recruitment into the Bonanno family, and in no time he provided an underworld resume of unprecedented viciousness. His membership in the Castellamarasi clan, however, didn't mean he cut any of the lines. Galante started as a lowly gunsel enforcing mob law within the New York underworld. He was a shooter and shot people frequently. His criminal record, including everything from the mundane petite larceny and bootlegging to the alleged murder of a police officer. To the end of his life in 1979, he was never indicted for a single one of those alleged killings, though he came close, including in March 1930 for the murder of police officer Walter Di Castiglia, a 9-year veteran who lived in Jamaica, Queens, with his wife and young daughter. Di Castiglia was shot to death while guarding a cash delivery to the 6th-floor payroll office of the Martin Weinstein Shoe Company on York Street in what is now called Dumbo. Carmine was released for the lack of evidence, as were Michael Consolo, who became Galante's bodyguard, and Angelo Little Mo Presenzano, Galante's cousin and longtime aide. In December of that same year, Galante was arrested for shooting Detective Joseph Minahan, a law enforcement official who would receive more than a dozen citations, principally for solving homicide cases in Brooklyn. In 1953, the Flatbush Chambers of Commerce awarded him its Gold Valor Medal. He also worked on the unsolved murder of Arnold Schuster in 1952. the salesman who helped the police capture Willie Sutton, the bank robber, and was then gunned down for it, reportedly on the orders of Albert and Anastasia. On December 25th, Minahan spotted a suspicious group of men in a green sedan parked on Driggs Avenue, just north of the Brooklyn Naval Yard. Minahan pulled his gun and approached the vehicle when one of the men shouted at him to stop or else. During the gunfight that ensued, Minahan was shot in the leg and a stray bullet seriously wounded a 6-year-old girl walking by with her mother. The gunmen were unable to start the vehicle but managed to leap onto a truck that was passing by. A wounded Minahan was able to grab one of the men after he missed his footing and fell from the truck. It was Galante. On February 8th of 1931, after pleading guilty to attempted robbery, Galante was sentenced to 12 and a half years in state prison. Okay, so we're going to end it now. This was part 1. We will come back with part 2 next Tuesday of Mob Spotlight, a profile on Bonanno family powerhouse Carmine Galante, the godfather of heroin trafficking. Part 1. First of all, we got to thank Ed Scarpo for the great article. We got to thank Luigi Mealy for sponsoring today's video. Big Rich, Mob Story, Season 3, Queens, New York City. All we deal with is business. Let me know what you're smoking on. Let me know what city you're smoking in. Like I said, I'm puffing on some hectane from the Grandiflora Company. And watch out in April for our new 420 show. Throw some smoke in the air. That will be taking off in April, and we'll be going live with that show on Tuesday nights. Stay tuned for more information. It's your boy Big Rich. You know how we do. Salute.